Lord have mercy. You know what's really funny and what I find very interesting? It is the fact that the girl that said that she's a flirt and she was coming to Big Brother's house to flirt, right? She might find herself in a ship or two, but she was definitely coming to flirt, right? So I find it quite interesting that the same girl that said that has suddenly caught feelings, and it seems as though the feelings that she caught, yeah, that is her last bus stop. That's her first and that's her last bus stop. So she's not flirting anymore. In fact, she did not even have to flirt. She didn't even have to exercise her prowess, her flirting prowess. She has caught feelings. She's in love, or whatever she called it. Because guys, I was listening to the conversation between Mide and Bright yesterday, in fact last night after the party, and I just found it very, very interesting. We're definitely going to get into the details of that conversation, you know, but a lot of things happened, and guys, I don't know, but we're going to talk about it, all right? And what else? Yes, there was also the conversation Mide had with Dan Boski with regards to the altercation that happened between herself and Zita, his girlfriend. And then there was also the conversation between, okay, not really a conversation, but it was actually a pestering session between IMISI and Faith. Oh my God, guys, it was funny, but IMISI was just like a pest, like a fly chasing Faith around the house. We're going to talk about all of these things, all right? Because, hey, you are especially welcome to the part 2 of my analysis of the aftermath of the second Saturday night party of the season. My previous video was the part 1 of the party video, yes, and I promised you all more details, you know, a continuation of an analysis of the conversations that ensued after the party, and this is that video. So if you missed out on that video, make sure you catch up on it, all right? Because there I shared the plan between Kola and Jason J to ignore Dede moving forward. Guys, there's a lot to unpack right here, but there's also a lot that I have unpacked over there. So watch this video and then you can go ahead and watch that one, all right? So yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in. My name is Gloria Elijah. This is Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah. I call myself the girl with the tea. I look forward to seeing your thoughts in the comment section below. So please do not hesitate to express yourself to the fullest, all right? Now, without further ado, let's just proceed to the rest of the video. All right, so after the party, in fact, even before after the party, yeah, during the party, Mide was sad. Mide was sad. Now, guys, see, there's a lot of backstories, right? There's a lot of backstories between Mide and Bright, and I've been shying away from talking about this, but I feel like my analysis of the aftermath of the party, what transpired between them, would not really make sense to you if I do not properly explain. English, did I say explained? If I do not properly explain what happened before. So let's just do a quick flashback to the Thursday night pool party. We're not kids here. We're all adults, I presume, right? So I want to believe that a lot of us, if not all, we are aware of what went down between those two inside the pool during the pool party. Something happened. I don't know what exactly it was, but something happened. There was intimacy between those two people. Now, I am not really sure if they actually had sex, if they smashed, or if it was just fingering that actually happened. Guys, I don't know, but they actually got physical because they confirmed it. Both of them confirmed it in a conversation they had yesterday. And also, Mide told Rude Boy about it. She actually admitted to him that she had a moment of weakness and she just could not control herself. And that conversation had happened because earlier this week, Rude Boy had actually asked her that some you people are like this. What if something happens? And she was vehemently standing on her 10 toes telling this guy that nothing was going to happen, that nothing for what, that she's bigger than that, she can control herself. And the guy was asking, are you sure you can control yourself? She said, she can control herself. That is not in this house, or in this house. She's not even going to even kiss anybody. Lie. She will not even kiss, not to talk of smashing somebody. For what? That was what she was saying. And then she toned it down a bit and said, even if something even happens once, that it's going to be once and that is going to be it. It's going to be a rookie mistake. That was what she called it. Now, fast forward from that, their conversation to the pool party, we saw everything that went down. God, everything was just so erotic. Like, it felt like they were on vacation. They were just doing their own thing away from the attention of all the housemates. They were just doing their thing. And they had a swell time, right? So, later on at night, they had some moments beneath the sheets as well. They cuddled a lot, I don't know what happened beneath the sheets, so I'm not going to say, oh, this is what happened, that is what happened. I don't know, but they did things. Yeah, things were done. Now, Mide started feeling somehow, right? Not guilty, but she started feeling like she probably gave herself away too easily to this guy. Because even the bride himself, I'm sorry, but he was acting childish in the sense that you just had something with this girl, right? The least you could do is act like a man, act like a man, treat her right, that kind of thing. But he was already having a conversation with Kola where he was saying that he could move on to another girl just to see how things are, just to shake things up. Because Kola was telling him that, and this girl, she really likes you. And he said he knows that if he wants to do something crazy now, he could just move on to another girl. So already, it's like chop and clean mouth. Like, I've tasted the forbidden fruit, probably one of the finest girls in the house. Boom, let me move on to the next target. So he was sort of making it obvious, and he was too hasty to start dancing the tune of freedom for himself, right? And Mide too was smart enough to catch on to that this guy is moving funny. So she was sad. That was why she was sad. Now, before the party yesterday, I told you they had had a conversation, and in that conversation, she had told him that she felt like she really gave herself away quickly, and she realized that she's not as strong as she thought that she is, especially with him, that she's pretty much very attracted to him, and she would like for them to create some boundaries so that what happened Thursday night will not easily repeat itself again. Right? So that was what they talked about, and she was saying that she was going to create the boundaries for both of them so that it will help them navigate the relationship better. I feel like what she was trying to say is that she's really attracted to this guy, right? And every time she sees him, she does not mind if he wants to shag. She's ready to open her legs. She does not mind if he wants to kiss. She's ready to bring her lips. That's the kind of strong, raw attraction that she has towards him. I don't know about him towards her. So he agreed, but reluctantly. So yesterday morning, I noticed that when the housemates were instructed to go to the garden, she deliberately did not go to him in the downfall. There was somebody else there already, and he did not go to her. In fact, they were sort of avoiding each other the most part of yesterday. And so fast forward to the party, I mentioned on my previous video how, they were estranged from each other. Now, fast forward to after the party, she was sad. She was not herself. She was not as excited as she would normally be, and Bright was not by her side. But anyways, before she had the conversation with Bright, she had a conversation with Dan Boskid about Zita, and she had explained the reason why she had been screaming the day they had their altercation, that she had a traumatic experience during her Big Brother auditions process, that she had actually been physically handled, like somebody actually beat her up. So when that situation had happened between herself and Zita, it had sort of triggered memories of that sordid event that had happened to her. And that was why she panicked. And, she just wants to stay away from Zita because now she's scared that the girl could physically harm her. Anyways, Dan Boskid had actually apologized to her. They had sorted out their differences. And then he had proceeded to have a conversation with Zita, telling Zita to try as much as possible to, resolve her differences with Mide. Now, I don't know if Zita is going to do that because, of course, Zita is equally strong-headed. Now, after that conversation, she was then having a conversation with Bright because the cameras was moving around the house, right? So we don't necessarily know how the conversation started. But anyways, in their conversation, that was where we learned that Mide was actually very much upset with Bright because earlier in the day yesterday, some of the girls, they were playing the game of whispers, right? So they would punch themselves, like they'll gather themselves as a group of 5, move to different guys around the house and whisper things in their ears. Some were very naughty things. Some were very erotic things, just whisper those things in their ears. And Ibifubara had been sent to go whisper in Bright's ears. And she had told Bright, I think what she had told Bright was, I want to see you eat me up, eat me down there on this pool table. In other words, to give her orals, right? And according to Mide, Bright had been trying to catch Ibifubara and what I was just being playful, right? And if you ask me personally, guys, I do not see how that could have been a major problem because I watched that entire scene play out on TV. These girls were just having fun. They were trying to lighten the mood in the house. They were trying to set the tone of excitement towards the Saturday night party. So it was just harmless jokes here and there. And they were all having fun. Even some of the guys that caught the joke, they were laughing, they were having fun with the girls, and they were playing along, right? And I guess that was exactly what Bright was trying to do. But then Mide got in her feelings because she probably felt like, oh, I've already given myself to this guy in whatever way I did. And now it seems like he wants to move on to another girl. So what's going on? So that was really what was in her head. She had that in her head all through the day. So Bright was trying to explain to her that it is not what you think. I was only trying to play along so it wouldn't look like I'm a party pooper. It was a game. Everybody was playing along and I was doing the same thing. And she was like, even though. And then she cited another instance of something she had seen between Bright and Ibifubara. So she was sort of building a case that she feels like Bright is interested in Ibifubara and wants to hop onto another ship with her, that is completely unacceptable for her, that if that is how Bright wants to play the game, then she's also going to start doing the same thing. Because at the moment, she has caught feelings for him, she really likes him, and she feels like she even likes him more than he likes her. And if he's going to be toying with her feelings, then she's removing herself from that situation. So Bright kept on apologizing, tried to explain himself over and over and over again, right? But she was still panicking. Now, Bright had to call Kola to come and beg Mide on his behalf. And Kola did that. Oh God. Kola did that. He kept on explaining and apologizing. And after he talked for a while, and it seemed like Mide was not budging, Bright had to literally go on his knees in front of her and was begging, like he's sorry, he did not mean to offend her, blah, 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 blah. And that sort of softened her heart a bit, because she then told him that, listen, I've actually caught feelings for you and I feel like I like you way too much, But then what I did not understand was why she sort of referenced her friend Mide as a player. Because while she was saying to Bright that, oh, it seems like you want to be playing around in the house with different girls, that's exactly what Mide is also doing. Sorry, Dede. That's exactly what Dede is also doing. And I'm like, come on, Mide. Because you want to present yourself as the good one, you have to now completely make your friend look like the very bad one. Doesn't really make sense. And you see, guys, once again, it's added to my summary that Mide is not 100% genuine with Dede. And to be honest, I don't really care that much because it's a game at the end of the day, right? Everybody is looking out for themselves, and that could be her own way of looking out for herself, and it's fine. Yes, at the end of the day, that money will be taken away by just one person, not two besties. So they ended up resolving their differences and they were fine, all right? But guys, I would love to hear your thoughts about this one because there was a conversation that happened between Ibifubara and somebody. I'm trying to remember who. This was on Friday. and Ibifubara was making inquiries about Bright's relationship status in the house, especially with Mide. She was indicating interest that she would like to pursue something with Bright, but she wants to know if he is open to, if he's open to having an open relationship and not just sticking to just Mide. And from the look of things, it seems like Bright is also trying to add more participants to his relationship, right? So it's getting messier, but I would love to hear your thoughts, so share in the comment section below. Now finally, on to Faith and IMISI. Ladies and gentlemen, IMISI is pestering Faith. She kept on chasing this boy around the dressing area, demanding for a kiss, demanding for a hug, demanding for him to cuddle her. Like, she was making a lot of demands about sexual things, and he did not like it. He was not finding it funny. Although he was laughing, but you could sense his discomfort. You could sense his nervousness. And she was touching him. She was slapping his body. She was touching him. And the guy was like, this is not funny. You're actually assaulting me. And guys, let's be honest about it. That is harassment. Because that is not the first time she's doing it. She literally almost always throws herself at Faith at every given opportunity. That is harassment. That is harassment. Yeah, it is. And it's so annoying because she finds it so, so fun to do. And it makes me wonder that, okay, what if the reverse was the case? What if the tables were turned? What if it was Faith that was doing all of this, chasing IMISI around the dressing area, and every time she says no, stop, no, stop, and he continues to go ahead to tap her back, tap her shoulder, tap her leg, tap her chest, tap her here, tap her there, I'm sure the conversation is going to be different. So I'm really hoping that, if at all, Big Brother is going to address all the crimes that happened this week, before the live eviction show, I really do hope that he also speaks to that, right? Speaks to that, because I feel like it's getting out of hand. IMISI is doing too much now. She's being excessive about it. She's really tormenting that boy's life. And I don't know. That is actually provocation on another level, but it is also harassment. And IMISI has got to tone it down. Tone it down. I mean, you can play with him, but stop touching him. And when you cave him into a corner and he is like a desperate animal that's trying to run away, it doesn't really make sense. It doesn't. Like, there should be boundaries, or let me say there should be limits to these things. Because I keep on saying to myself that if it was Faith that was doing this to IMISI, the conversation would have been different. So I'm really hoping that Big Brother addresses this, because at this point, it doesn't make sense anymore. It's now worrying. Yeah, it's worrying. And Faith is heavily disturbed about it. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to stop talking here right now. All right. So thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys on another video. I told you all during our live conversation yesterday that I'm going to make a video about the fight between K-Bobo and Mensen. So I'm still trying to gather the materials, and if I am able to, I would share details about that fight and give my own analysis about it on another video. All right. But in the meantime, go ahead, share your thoughts in the comment section below. I will see you all on my next video. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing day. Bye.